Are you tired of playing the meta and you want something fun to play? Well, check this deck out. I'm Jesse, and I'm here with Team Judgment, and I'm coming at you guys with this spicy deck profile for an Invoke list. Or our deck is Invoked Mekk Knight Shaddoll, and this deck is very, very spicy. And I want to show you guys the list and where I'm at so far. Let you guys know, something to play that's not Thunder Dragons or Sky Strikers or Orcus or whatever. If you're tired of playing those types of decks, something you can just play with, and it's actually quite rewarding. So onto the monsters. We're playing triple Alistair, pretty standard. We're playing for a Mekk Knight package. We're playing 3 Purple Nightfall, 1 Blue Sky, 1 Indigo Eclipse, and 1 Yellow Star. And that's it for our Mekk Knight lineup. So these are pretty self-explanatory. We're playing 3 of these. We're playing the 1 Blue Sky. Some people play 2. I think I actually will end up playing 2. But and I'll show you guys what I would take out for it. Our deck is 44 cards, and I kind of don't want to go over that. If anything, I kind of want to go under that. But yeah, that's that. And Yellow Star is really good, actually, in this deck because since we're going second base deck, this is another way to clear back row. Keep in mind, this deck was also built before Dark Storm, so there's a few things that probably would change, but I think this one probably would stay. I'm not saying that I would take him out or anything. I'm just saying, with Mystic Mind running around this card, it sort of doesn't. None of these cards really work. So there's that. That's it for the Mekk Knight and Shaddoll lineup. Mekk Knight and Invoke lineup. The Shaddolls are 1 Beast, 1 Hedgehog, 1 and 2 Dragon. Sorry, 2 Dragon. I think when I update this deck for post Dark Storm, I don't know why I didn't do it, but I guess I didn't have the time to do so. The deck functions pretty well as is. The only thing you probably would add is things to counter Mystic Mind if it comes up, which it probably will, let's be honest. But double Dragon, because it does out other problematic back rows. Since we are going second deck, we just want to be able to play through some back row. And we play the second Dragon because grind game situations, but ideally I think I would end up cutting the Dragon and just playing these 3. You need the Hedgehog for a combo, otherwise I probably would just play 2, but right now we're playing 4. It's a pretty solid lineup, and it does help with Super Poly. If you happen to, you can just have one of these guys on the field in the Super Poly. Your opponent's attributes away into your monsters was kind of nice. The one thing I've been playing with is the 1 Super Anti-Kaiju. Let's see if we can get it to zoom in there, focus on it. There we go. Super Anti-Kaiju War Machine Mecha Thunder King. This guy's pretty cool. What he does is essentially what you want to do with him is send him to the grave via Shaddoll Fusion, and during the end phase, I think it's actually during your end phase. Yeah, during your end phase, if he's in the graveyard, you can just special summon him. And essentially, the goal here is to prevent your board from being kaiju'd. Not that kaijus are that prevalent, but it's something I was messing with, and it's a light, and it's a simple engine to use. You don't have to use like 3 or 4 cards with the Trick Clown engine, so it's pretty good. This is probably what I would take out. If I put in a second Blue Sky, I'll take him out. Or I could take out a Dragon if you really like him. You can take out one of the Shaddoll Dragons. Onto the hand traps, and this is where the deck gets not budget any longer. We are playing 3 Phantasma. Because we're going second, we really want our hands to be as optimal as possible, so we can break our opponent's board and kill them as quickly as possible. Phantasma is really good at doing that, fixing your hand and getting a body on board, and helping you establish Your win condition, which would be any, like, essentially it would be getting to your fusion spells and having enough damage on board to push for game. Playing other hand traps, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Effect Veiler, and 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit to round out our hand traps. These are, I feel like, are the best ones to use in the meta right now, and we've got all of our attributes that we really need. We've got the lights here, we got fire here. Dark isn't really needed for that. Phantasm not really needed for his attribute, but he is good at fixing our hands. And that's it for our monsters. Onto our spells, we're playing 3 and 2, of course. This card is probably the best card in your deck. Not even kidding you. This card is insane. Not being able to respond to any of your fusion spells, essentially turning all of your fusion spells into super poly, is ridiculous. This card is insane. It's freaking busted. There are some combos you can do with this card to turn your Shaddolls into unrespondable like effects as well. It's insane. Also, this is probably the only list that I would probably play a third terraforming if I could. Usually I would play 2 and 3. This is the ratio I used to play, so it doesn't bother me. But this is the list I would play 3 in if I could, because this card, you just want to see this card. This card is nuts. Turning all your fusion spells into super poly, and of course the obvious search Alistair on activation, which is pretty nice. But and then also it turns them into on summon. You can't respond to their summons either. So like a lot of cards have some on summon effects or will trigger or activate in the summon response window, and they can't respond because it's still in the summon window. So it's pretty insane. And I'll show you guys some of what I mean. We're playing double invocation. This is another card. If you don't have Phantasma's, you can probably max out on 3 invocation. Also, you can probably play Pangertop or other kaijus that are really good at breaking boards and whatnot. Might even, if you play the other kaijus, you might even venture out to play Kaiju Slumber. It's really good. It's pretty decent. But invocation, nuts. It's a generic fusion spell, so you can use it for your Shaddoll plays. And you can also just use for, obviously, your invoke monsters and stuff as well. Like, triple Shaddoll fusion. This card is literally, like, probably the third best card in the deck, second best card in the deck. Really insane. Since this is a fusion spell, your opponent can activate anything in response to these as well if you have Magical Meltdown on the field. So if you have Meltdown on the field, your opponent can't respond to your Shaddoll fusions either. Or we're playing the One Book of the Law. They can't respond to this either because it is treated as a fusion summon. And we're playing double super poly, which they can't naturally respond to anyway. But if you have this on the field, they super can't respond to it. This one card, and fusion your opponent's monsters away, or just you can push for extra damage. You can fusion your monsters away to create more damage on board. So super poly is insane. But I want to talk about Shaddoll fusion a little more. So this card is really nice because you're going second, obviously your opponent will have an extra deck monster. And if they have a link monster that points to your zone, it's even better. But so Shaddoll fusion says send from your deck to grave fusion materials if your opponent controls an extra deck, a monster or something from the extra deck, and that includes pendulums as well and all those sorts of things. But so this card is good for dumping Alistair into the grave if you don't have a way to get to it. Like I say, you have invocation in hand and no Alistair to use. You can make Glinda by dumping Alistair to the grave because he's a dark, and then we have access. You have a live invocation, which is pretty neat, and sending your Shaddoll monsters to grave, and in effect activating on the summon window of your fusion summons means they can't respond to them because it's on the summon window. And it's very important to note. That's very important because Shaddoll Dragon becomes a Night Beam. You target a card and they can't respond with it. It's pretty insane. So this card is nuts, and I'll show you guys a little combo you can do with this card to ensure that you don't lose any hand advantage. The last spell we play is the Searchable War Legacy Succession. This card is pretty nuts in the sense that it helps you because all your fusion monsters are able to be summoned again after they've been properly summoned, so you can fusion, link away, and then bring them back with this card and have even more presence on the field. That's pretty cool. So we've got our searchable monster reborn. Next is our searchable Call of the Haunted. That was it for our spells. Here's our traps. Searchable Call of the Haunted. Target level 5 or higher monster in your graveyard. Summon it. And it has a cool continuous skill chain effect that says if your opponent's monster activate, it negates the effects of their monsters that are in the same column as your Mekk Knights. And that's really combos really well with Indigo Eclipse here, because if they activate an effect, you can quick play chain his effect and to move him to whatever column the monster is activating, even if they left the field. So let's say they tribute like Pankratops or something like that. Move it to the column that the card was in. Since it activates on the field, it will resolve and negate it because of secrets, because of a War Legacy secret. It's pretty neat to know. And also, you can bring back any of your fusion monsters that have been properly summoned, of course, or your Mekk Knights, even, or Phantasme. So this card is really insane. If you're playing Pankratops, is also you can bring back this and get more pops, more use out of your Pankratops as well. This card is pretty nice. It's also searchable through the Mekk Knight of the Morning Star. But yeah, that's our little strong trap card there, and we're playing triple evenly matched for our true going second nature deck. I actually, a lot of times I don't even like using this card. I'd rather just break my opponent's board through other means. But if I don't see an easy way out doing that without losing a lot of resources, and I'll probably just activate the auto win button here to break the board. I'd rather break it through other means, keeping my battle phase intact. That way I can use my monsters to kill my opponent. But if there are no other ways out, you can use evenly matched. So that's it for the main deck. Like I said, 44 cards. Pretty beefy main deck. Onto the extra deck here, we've got double Mekaba, double Purgatrio for our invoked monsters. You can probably, if you can find space, I probably could find space, but I haven't yet. But you can probably put in a Raijin or a Magiclenica just for added fusion summons, because with this deck you're gonna be spitting out tons and tons of fusion monsters, like 3 or 4 fusions in a turn if your hand is good enough to do so. And it doesn't really take much. All it takes is really a Shaddoll fusion and a way to make the Alistair link. Really is all it takes to explode the fusion mechanic. So for Shaddolls, we're playing 1 Grista, 1 Construct, double Winda. So probably could cut a Winda and put it in one of the other invoked if you wanted to. But this is a good list. So Winda is our walking summon limit. We've got a summon negate, so like a solid warning. It negates the summons of monsters. And a construct can beat over any special summon monster without applying damage. So it's pretty cool. And then of course on summon, her effect is to dump a Shaddoll. So on summon, and if you have magical breath out on the field, her effect cannot be negated, or cannot be responded to rather. And then we're playing the 1 Starving Dragon Fusion Dragon. We should be playing a Violet Chimera, but I haven't put one in yet. That's probably what I would actually put in instead of a second window, is a Violet Chimera. Check out these sleeves, by the way. These are really cool. These are the limited edition Easter art sleeves for Dragon Shields. These are standard size, of course. That's why they're double sleeve. And yeah, I know you can't double sleeve cards in an official tournament, but screw that. We're not in official tournaments, so we're double sleeving our cards, and we got these cool Easter sleeves to put them in. Onto the links, we're playing the most important card in the entire deck besides Magical Meltdown. Actually, I guess Magical Meltdown doesn't matter if you don't have this guy on the field, right? This guy is insane. He just does he's everything a fusion deck could possibly need and more. So his effect says anytime a fusion monster is summoned, doesn't have to be to a zone he points to, but most likely it will be unless an opponent summons something that to a zone that has an arrow that points to a zone that I control. His effect says you can discard 1 card, and if you do, I think it's if you do, discard 1 card, yeah, and if you do, add 1 invocation or Book of the Law from your deck to your hand. I just want to stop right there for a second and talk about some of the things you can do with that card, with that effect. So let's say you have Magical Meltdown on the field, and you've got your fusion spells set up. You've got Alistair engraved and some other stuff. Probably use the hand trapper too, whatever. Doesn't really matter. All right, so let's say you have Alistair engraved. Maybe you use the Mekk Knight to make the Alistair link, whatever. Or maybe you have a hand trap. These are all very real possibilities. You don't need the hand trap, but let's say you haven't. So let's say, of course, your opponent has an extra monster because you want second. That's most likely going to happen. Let's see, you can activate, you activate Shaddoll Fusion. And you have Magical Mekk Knight on the field, so they can't negate it. They can respond to it, but they can't negate it. And you dump. Since you want to make, if you say you just want to make, you just make Grista here. I mean, you can make Construct. Let's just make Construct. Let's just send our Hedgehog and Thunder King to grave to summon Construct. There she is. So Construct out. And okay, so we have some chain links that activate. Opponent cannot respond because this is on the summon of Construct. His effect is activating. His effect is activating, and her effect is activating, and Hedgehog. Hedgehog is important to the combo. So essentially, what you want to do is chain link 1, chain link 2, and chain link 3, or any order, doesn't really matter as long as he is before, as long as he is lower on the chain than Hedgehog is. So Hedgehog resolves adding. This is why we play more than just 2 or 3 Shaddolls, because we're going to use a lot of them in this particular combo. And this particular combo happens a lot. So, Chainlink 3 adds Beast to hand. Chainlink 2 sends Dragon to grave. And Chainlink 1, Alistair says discard, and if you do, which means it's an effect, not a cost, so you can pitch your Shaddoll monster to the grave, and it'll be sent to the grave by a card effect, which means you can take full advantage of your Shaddoll monster's effects with Construct. And as long as Magical Mekk Knight is on the field, Alistair will allow you to take full advantage of all your Shaddoll monsters. And so Invocation, so you discard that to add Invocation to hand, right? You discard that, add Invocation. You can activate these 2 effects in a simultaneous chain link here. One is going to pop a spell or trap, one's going to draw 1 card. Draw 1 card, pop a back row. And Invocation will allow us to activate, banish this, and one of the monsters, summon the monster here. You can discard this card to grave, whatever it is. And if we didn't have a second Alistair, let's pretend like this is an Alistair, we don't know what it is. Discard it, random card. You can shuffle back this Alistair, and then shuffle back this Invocation to the deck, add Alistair to hand. And you may Mekka here, or whatever you fused for there. You put a second hand, you have this hand. If you free up this zone, let's say you want to free up this zone by making something over here. You could essentially, what you could do is, if you can fusion summon again, or let's say your opponent controls a monster that points to your zone, like Skulldrug or something, you can fusion summon again, pitching this, and activating this, and banishing one of your cards, summon your fusion monster, and then discard one of the other cards in your hand that you would have, and add Invocation back, and then you have another live Invocation for Alistair to abuse again, banishing and reshuffling. So that's the little thing you can do. You can also send Dragon to grave on the initial Shaddoll fusion, so you can make Dragon. You can target the card you're targeting with Dragon. Can it be used? It'll just be destroyed since they can't activate cards in response to the summon of fusion monsters. So it's pretty insane. The rest of the extra deck is one as our Nightmare package. We have Boiler here, Bulbasaur, and of course we're playing the one Mekk Knight, the Morning Star. So that's it for the extra deck, and that's it. I can go to the side deck, I guess. It could probably change, but we have DD Crows here, Pankratops, some Kaijus. We're playing triple Mind Control. It's really good. Double Magical Spring for Pendulums, and triple Typhoon. Probably the best thing we have against Mystic Mind right now. But that's it for the deck, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe for more stuff, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.